Take it in. Look at him. Look him in the eyes. What a man. Tonight's podcast is brought to you by the greatest American ever, probably, surely, John W. Henry.
What your nan?
Me little nan, John. Ladies and gents, welcome back to another Red or Alive podcast. I am your host this evening, and I am joined by three very special guests. Firstly, a new guest, his podcast debut, I believe, Mr. Adam Darnell. How are you, mate?
All good, lads. All good. The dream come true to join Red or Alive. Thanks for having us, lads. Yeah, looking forward to it.
No, you're welcome, mate. Thank you for joining. Ben, guest, then host, and now guest again.
Yeah, it's good to be on the other side of the fence, lad. It seems to be like topics just racking up every day, but it's no better feeling at the minute, mate. Unbelievable being a Liverpool fan, innit?
And at episode 4, I wanted to have a stress break from hosting. There's that much news coming out. We can deal with it. And then last but not least, Rick, how are you, bud?
Yeah, I'm not bad, mate. Not bad. Just like trying to catch up on all the news from today. Some big stuff to talk about, but yeah, all good, mate. All good. Good to have you back.
Yeah, no, thank you, mate. Thank you. No, indeed. I mean, look, we had the show tonight is and was planned to be a number 9, and it still very much is. But I mean, as is with Liverpool at the moment, I mean, it is just one news article after another, incomings, outgoings, contracts, you name it. Liverpool are doing it. And we will start, actually, we were going to start obviously with Liverpool's new signing, which we'll get to shortly, but we will start with some news that is breaking just as we come on the air. Colombian journalist has broken, his name is Pepe Sierra, the gentleman that broke the Luis Diaz news when he moved to Liverpool a few years back. He is breaking the news that Liverpool's interest in renewing Luis Diaz's contract seems to have disappeared. He states that his continuity at Liverpool is not guaranteed. And more so, according to sources close to Luis Diaz, this is not the first time such a situation has occurred, which has only deepened their frustration. So both the player and his inner circle are struggling to understand the club's approach and recent decisions regarding his future. That's been translated and reposted by our friends at Anfield Sector. Basically, the news seems to be, I don't think it's breaking news. I think this is stuff that Liverpool have, Liverpool fans have been aware of with him. Ben, I'll come to you first. I mean, we've been aware of it, but it's still, it's still breaking when it comes from a source that we know is close to Luis Diaz. We spoke a little bit off air. The situation with him is a little bit strange. And Liverpool made it abundantly clear they're not going to be renewing him and they're happy for him to carry on. What do you make of this article that it's come from the Luis Diaz side? Do you think this is forcing Liverpool's hand?
Yeah, slightly. It's strange, obviously, that they're pushing it out because it's obviously come from, the players' side. They probably are realising, like, why aren't we getting a contract here? They've been there for a few years now and, he's not on the biggest of wages. But I don't know, it just doesn't seem like Liverpool are that fully in on him. Do you know what I mean? They seem to be looking for people to buy him, and it's strange. I think he's a top player, but there seems to be a few people that just aren't too happy with him. Maybe it's the age. I don't know. He's consistently inconsistent, isn't he? He's great 1 minute, then he goes on a little bit of slippery slope. But I don't know. I can't make it out. I do think that Liverpool are probably thinking he is going to go, but they're probably not happy that the Barca thing didn't come off. I'm a little bit unsure on it, to be fair, but the way it's going, I can't see him being here at the start of the season.
Yeah, Adam, I'll pass this one to you. I mean, it's a weird one. Liverpool have been very, very vocal about the fact that he's not going to be getting a new deal. What do you think Liverpool's ideal scenario is that plays out? I mean, they've talked about him leaving on a free. They're obviously open to him going if it's big money. It sounds like Saudi money they're looking for. What do you think Liverpool's ideal scenario is and how this plays out for the club and Diaz?
I think it's that in the way of we're happy to keep him for the rest of his contract and let him go on a free transfer. But we're also putting it out there. If there's a big offer, we're ready to accept it. Which I think it's right to do that, to be honest with you. I don't think we should maybe be offering a big contract at the minute. I'd keep him as a couple more years and then let him go. He's 30 years old then, so yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, to be honest. I think we'll keep him. I don't think we're going to sell him. I don't think there's anyone out there who's going to buy him.
Yeah, absolutely. Rick, I think Ben said it earlier, he was consistently inconsistent. He has been a bit of a polarising figure, Luis Diaz. I mean, there's no doubt about it. On his day, he's quality. But trying to get that consistently has been a problem. Why do you think Liverpool are in a position that they're not looking to extend him? Do you think a few people in the comments obviously have alluded to his age? Do you think it is his inconsistencies? He's a top when he plays, his numbers look good. You look at the data on him, it looks good. Well, why do you think Liverpool have gone, no, this is it?
I think there's a couple of things. I think if you look at his age, is definitely one of them. He's 28 in a minute. So if you give him a new, 3-4 year deal, if the reports are true of what he's on, he's going to want close to 200k on his renewal because it's his last big contract, really, I think. So that's one factor. I also think that, listen, as well as he played the back end of last season and dragged us through certain games and had a decent season, him and Gakpo got the same sort of double-digit number goal contributions. But apart from the back end of last season, I can't remember a season where Luis Diaz has been consistent in terms of numbers. There was reports coming out, last year, the year before, that they weren't too happy with his stats in like his goals and his assists. So that could be another factor. We know Edwards and Hughes don't fuck about either. We've seen that with certain other players. So, yeah, I think I agree with Adam. I don't think he'll be sold unless we get a big offer for him. I think they're looking for 70 million euros, 70 million pound, whatever you want to call it. The only ones realistically that can offer that are the Saudis. They're not going to come for him. So, yeah, I can see a situation where the age plays a factor. We'll let him run down his 2 year, what he's got left, and go for free.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll dive into the Diaz situation and the forward options a little bit later. But I thought it would make sense.
Question though, this one's for you, Matt. Do you know if Liverpool offered him a new deal? Do you think they'd take it?
Diaz? I think he would. I think the only move that he may have been desperate to bump Liverpool off for would have been the Barca one. I think obviously that now looks like it's coming to a conclusion with Nico Williams. So I think so, yeah. I mean, well, saying that at this point, if they pissed him and his entourage off, who knows? But I think he would. We'll have to wait. I don't think it's forthcoming. We're getting calls for Andy. He's having a rest. He's an old man now, Andy, so he does need to take a little bit of a
stress.
And yeah, if you know, he's also follically challenged, so he needs to look after that. But as I said, we'll come on to the Luis Diaz and the attacking situation a little bit later as well. So we've got plenty to talk about around that. But the other breaking news, if you like, is Liverpool got a new player, one that none of us saw coming. Milos Kerkez is now officially a Liverpool player. 12 noon today, he was announced in the media team. We're having an absolute blinder, by the way. Cracking out the glasses, the cap, the drill. I love it. Adam, I'll come to you, mate. Didn't see this one coming, did you?
No, it wasn't a big secret, wasn't it? But yeah, made up, it's come through now. I think it's all the fans definitely wanted Kerkez, didn't he? As well. Best left back in the league at the minute, I think, anyway. I'm just looking forward to just seeing a bit of pace back on the side, to be honest. With Kerkez and Frimpong on the other side. I liked his interview where he said he's a machine. And he's looking forward to doing 1-2s as well. I liked all that. But yeah, he seems like a character as well. And his our fella does as well, doesn't he? So looking forward to him. I reckon he'll be decent. If he's half the player of Robertson, then we've got a player, haven't we?
Absolutely. Yeah. Rick, I'll ask you about that because obviously we'll go into Kerkez as a player shortly. But one thing I thought was it was a nice touch, to be honest. Is obviously we know longer term he's coming in to replace Robbo. He's going to be Liverpool's first choice. He seemed to make a concerted effort. He obviously referred to Andy Robertson as the greatest ever left back in the Premier League. They were talking about John Arisa again. He circled back to mention his admiration of Andy Robertson. I mean, it's a lovely touch, isn't it, to come in and make a point of that. But he's going to learn so much from Robbo, isn't he, providing he stays?
Yeah, I mean, what better to learn off the so-called best left back, as he put it, in the Prem. Then he's a similar type player. It's like a hybrid of Robbo. It's a younger version of Robbo. The energy, getting bombing up and down that left-hand side is going to be massive for us. We did miss that a bit last season. I know we won the league and everything, but we did miss that energy on that left-hand side. And yeah, like you see today, like he's celebrating his brother's birthday back home, and they've got like Liverpool balloons, and like they're just partying with a DJ and that. So it's just so good that you see someone that wants to come to Liverpool. Like he said today in the interview, it's only Liverpool. He's obviously held back from other teams trying to come in for him while we've been sorting out whatever's been going on. But yeah, I just like I said, if you take Wirtz out of the equation, Kerkez is the most important signing this summer for us because of the way the left back position is going for us. It looks like Robertson's now going to stay as a backup or fight for his place with Kerkez. So it's going to be interesting to see what that partnership's like this season, how they bounce off of each other. He could make Robertson go up another level this season. I know people saying Robertson's done and whatnot, but Kerkez might give him that kick up the arse where he ain't had much competition of recent years. Let's be honest, Kostas is not that level. So it's going to be interesting to see how them two fight it out next season, but I'm looking excited to it.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a couple of left-back names that were doing the rounds. Obviously, Kerkez, Nori, just time for Manchester. Did Liverpool get the right one?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Because I think we took City's, main target for left back. He's such a good player, smashing all the records for that left back position. And Liverpool needed a little bit of a fighter in there because we started looking a little bit nice at times last season. And I just think it's such a big signing for Liverpool. Like Rick said, it was a massive thing for Liverpool. Because we talked, in our groups and stuff months ago, we were talking about the left back position being one of the main ones. So I just think it's a massive coup for Liverpool. I think I can only see this kid just smashing it. What a player he is. And he's dying to play for Liverpool. And that's the biggest thing. Do you know what I mean? He's talking about Liverpool being, the biggest club in England and stuff. So, yeah, I think this is a serious one.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Adam, as a player, I know obviously we would have seen him last season, even if you didn't watch Bournemouth too much. We would have seen him play. We played against him a couple of times. What do you think Kerkez brings to this Liverpool side that we may have missed last season?
The main thing's pace, isn't it? And he gets forward quite a bit. Robertson obviously did a few seasons ago. Last couple of seasons, it starts to die down, hasn't it? So I think that's going to give us more, with the low block teams, more options, isn't it, to get the ball into the box. He loves a cross as well. I read something that he did over 100 crosses or something this season, and that was Robertson only did half of it. So that's a big plus. But yeah, I think he brings a lot better than Robertson bringing at the minute, Yeah. And that's not me trying to slate Robertson either as well. Just No,
I think everyone would. You take your rose-tinted glasses off. Robertson obviously is on the decline now, especially when you play such a physical role, fullback for Liverpool. I mean, Jesus, you can drop off by 1%, and you're gonna struggle. So, I mean, Rick, I'm going to kind of pivot a little bit because there was some news that came out today that Atletico Madrid were close to signing a new left back. Obviously, that we assume will have ramifications for the signing of Robbo potentially staying. Do you see a world now in which maybe Robertson's looked at this Kerkez signing and actually seen where he thinks he can be, still of use to Liverpool, and that he could potentially stay beyond the summer now?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the amount of games we played, close to 60, 65 games in all comps. So there's going to be games Robertson's going to get. You've got the cup games, you've got potential Champions League games, depending on how that goes. If you qualify early, but there's still plenty of games for him to do. And at the age Robertson's at, he might only want to play that. I know that certain amount of games. Like, who was it who come out and said the other day, why do I want to leave Liverpool when I'm still guaranteed to play 25 games a season? Like, that's a high number. Some players play 25 for a lower down team in the Prem anyway, so it's still a fair amount of games. And yeah, I think that move for Ruggieri is done to Madrid. I think it's 20 million euro he's gone for, so that window is definitely gone now for Robbo to go there. And I don't see where else Robbo goes. Nah, I think Madrid excited him a little bit because it's different countries. Spain, one of the top teams over there fighting for league titles. So I don't see where else he goes. It's good that he's staying. I think it's massive for Kerkez as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ben, just to kind of touch on what Rick said with Robbo there, I mean, the Atletico Madrid one was a bit far left, wasn't it? It came out of nowhere, really. I think we'd all assume that he'd see his year out and then probably go to a Celtic or a lesser club. It does seem like that one has the ship's now sailed on that one. Do you see Robbo staying? And if he does, how important do you think that could be for Kerkez's embedded into the team to have Robbo there to kind of help him bed in?
Oh, he'd be the perfect, player to be with, to touch him up on that role. And you can sort of see what fucking Trent's brother's been up to, because obviously nothing's progressed properly, has it? With Atletico Madrid. So it is a strange one. Do I think he's going to stay, though? It's interesting, but I hope he does. I'd love to see him, give another year, let Kerkez properly settle in, because he's going to be the best to be his partner, at left back. Tsimikas is hit and miss, but do you know what, though? He's not as bad as people make out. I know he's not the greatest, but he's still a half-decent left back. That could be the backup, but one of them's going to go. It still remains to be seen which one is going to go. But the fact something came out about Robbo potentially leaving, because nothing's really came out about Tsimikas. Do you know what I mean? So maybe he will get a move. And obviously, Atletico would have been a great move for him. Let's make no mistake about it. That would have been a cracking move. But, we shall see. Will he stay, though? It remains to be seen. I'm a bit 50-50 now. But look, there'll be many teams that would be in for Robbo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he won't be short of many suitors, that's for sure. Maybe not the stature of an Atman, but yeah, I mean, obviously we'll do a pod a bit later in the week. We've got some other bits to talk about with the Canai situation and the Elliott one, but obviously tonight, what everybody wanted to talk about was the number 9 position. An article came out, Paul Joyce earlier, talking about the fact that Liverpool aren't just going to buy a number 9 for the sake of buying a number 9, or for the fact they're going to sell one, and that as per Liverpool's policy, it needs to be the right signing like we always do. I was going to fire this one at you, Adam. Do you see, obviously, I know the names that have been banded around, but kind of firstly, off the back of that article from Joyce, do you see a world in which Liverpool do not sign a number 9 this summer?
Yeah, definitely. I think, it's typical Liverpool, isn't it? Over the years of waiting for their number 1 target. So if you can't get them this summer, then I think they'll wait, and that's when Diaz comes into it, doesn't it? And I think we'll keep Diaz and we'll play Diaz up front, which I wouldn't be bothered with, to be honest. I think we can't argue that the transfer window up to now has been a 10 out of 10, hasn't it? I'd say anyway. So Isak's a bit of a bonus. So I do think that, I know Rick's very confident, isn't he, about this? But if it doesn't happen, I can see Liverpool definitely wait until next summer maybe and keeping Diaz for the number 9.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rick, go on. I'll give you the floor for this one then. But look, Alexander Isak is obviously Liverpool's undisputed number 1. He's obviously the top target. He's obviously the one they want. And that is, I think, the first article we've seen this summer / at all that indicates to the fact that they're locked in on the target and they're prepared to wait if they can't get him. I'm not going to ask if you think he comes this summer, because I know the answer to that. But hypothetically, if he's not available this summer, do you think Liverpool will be in his ear getting him to wait it out to address a deal next year?
Yeah, all day long. Isak is the prime number 1 target. Whether we get him this summer, I think we do. Will we wait for him next season? I think would be in and around that conversation next season. I don't think we will be as much as we are this season. Because I think if you look at it, if Arsenal sign a striker, Chelsea sign 400 players again this summer, he ain't going to go United. Barcelona can't afford him even with Lewandowski going. Real Madrid have got Mbappe / potentially Haaland later on. Where else is he going to go? It is only Liverpool that need a striker. So he could potentially wait out a year, but like, I still stick by the thing. Contracts ain't worth what they're written on these days. Player power is so big in football. You couldn't name me a team that has managed to keep hold of a player by having 3 years left on his deal. The player always wins. If the player wants out, the player will leave. It's happened at Liverpool. Coutinho done it. So I just think, and Newcastle as well, if that report that's come out from their journals yesterday that they've got 160 million to spend, including wages as well. If Liverpool goes slap between 1 to 130 down all in, they can't turn that down. They can go build a squad capable of challenging for cup competitions next year. So if you sell Isak as well as what the money they've got, they could get 5 or 6 players in, build a proper squad, get some decent bench options. Like, no disrespect to people like Murphy on the right wing. If you want to win things with the owners that you've got, you need the next level up. Look at Klopp when he first come in at Liverpool. We did the same thing. We built up. We took the money. We didn't have to take the money for Coutinho. But you got to look at the bigger picture. We told that. We got Alisson in. We got Van Dijk in. And we went on to win big things. Champions League, Premier League. So if Newcastle just got to be level-headed with it, don't see it as they're being bullied. Just take the money that you're going to get offered. Because all it's going to take is for Isak to down tools. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but we know agents talk. Agents will say, listen, they're messing you around. Because now, the biggest mistake Newcastle made this summer was 200 million for him. All right, now go show me what a 200 million pound player should be on a week. Newcastle can't do it. They could go to their max. Say 200k, they go max. That's their max they can do. Liverpool will just slap 300k on the table for him. And what's he going to do then?
Yeah, absolutely. In case you haven't noticed, Rick is very passionate about Alexander Isak. Ben, the amount of conversations that we've had about Alexander Isak, we had one literally probably half an hour before we came live. Will he? Won't he? I think one thing is for sure, Liverpool are going to make a big play this summer to sign Alexander Isak. What do you think, realistically, the figures in the media are one thing, realistically, what do you think Liverpool need to put on that table to get Newcastle to come and talk?
I think they'll be starting around the 100 mil mark just to test the waters. I feel, though, the reports that are coming out, it makes me feel like Newcastle want to see what Liverpool are willing to do, because I don't think they can start turning away massive money off Liverpool. They're talking about breaking the wage structure. I believe they've got like a barrier on the 200k mark where they're not having anything go above. Well, I'm not being funny. If you're banding about 150 million and above, you're going to have to pay him way more than that. You're talking of a player that's probably 400k a week if you're talking on them figures. So I think he's going to be very disappointed if they keep blocking massive money. And let's make no mistake about it. If Liverpool are going to offer, that means the agents, when the player want to come. So Liverpool aren't just going to do it for nothing. It is a strange one. I think do I think it's going to come early or later? I'm not too sure. It's quite surprising that Newcastle are trying to do business quite quick. 3 players early is, surprising. Then they'll be in the position to kind of monitor the market. But look, make no mistake, if there's any chance Liverpool will be there, because why shouldn't they? Because I don't think they're fully convinced on the plan B. Because the prices are very, very similar. So if you're going to pay 70, 80, potentially 90 million for Ekitike, well then you may as well just wait it out for Isak, innit?
Comments maybe off. Get all our ducks in a row. Yeah, I do understand the sentiment of the comment though. I think Liverpool are looking to make stuff happen this summer. I think you're looking at. We've spoke about Arsenal. Their fan base. If we made the signers here, was it Kepa, Norgard and Zubimendi's obviously okay, and I don't. And then City, obviously, we know they're not going to be as good as they were. You know, the players to replace Kevin De Bruyne and the like are not out there. So I do think they're trying to go, but you know, at the moment, we know
who else
they're not.
is he, Matt? Let's be honest. Who else is going to buy him if it's not Liverpool or Arsenal?
See from Isak's perspective, I think he knows that, and I think Isak wants to move. I don't think that's what's in doubt. I think if we were talking about him not wanting to move and the reason the deal wasn't happening is because Isak wanted to stay, then I would, we'd look at that and say, yeah, well, where else are you going to go in a year? But I think Newcastle don't care about that. You know, if Newcastle's tunnel vision of he's staying this year, then they're not going to be asked about it.
You can't just force it to stay, can you?
I don't think you can. You can't force someone to stay.
No.
I mean, my question was going to be, Adam, how much of a stink do you think Isak would kick up? Because he does, relatively speaking, he does seem happy at Newcastle. He's not, he's not going to be one of these like Coutinho where he stood at the jail gates asking to come out. But
yeah, you say that though, Mark, and then I know what you're going to say, but in the fact of he's meant to be this nice lad and all that type of thing, I thought Coutinho was a lovely lad. I didn't know he was going to start doing back injuries and stuff like that. His agent gets in the Reds and says, you're 26, mate, this is your last chance. You've got to do this. And you might not like it. And after the career, they might say, sorry, Newcastle fans, but I have to do it. And I think that's what's going to happen. It's like what you said there, Rick said, about the 200 million valuation. He's got, well, pay him the wages then. Because he's a footballer at the end of the day and he's going to want money. And Liverpool can offer big money.
Yeah. How much of a kick? How much do you think he needs to do? Do you think he needs to go as far as a transfer request?
Well, he doesn't have to publicly say that, does he? But he can just go in and just say, basically, well, it sort of is, isn't it? It is a transfer request, but not like what in the back in the day it used to be letter on the desk, wasn't it? Type thing. I think he'll just say, lads, you're not offering me the contract. I'm gonna go then. You've got it, and then it gets to where like 120 million to 150 million, I think, is the range of what will be accepted. I don't think any club can reject that, to be honest. So I don't think he's going to start striking. I don't think he'll go that far, but if that's what it takes, maybe Rick would have to tell him.
Yeah, that's it. But do you not think, though, the Ornstein thing on Sky Sports last night, it seemed very scripted, very Newcastle gave him something to say and briefed him, and he's coming. It's like he's sitting in front of her reading the teleprompter. Like, I mean,
did you notice in that though, where there was a lot of we don't know the valuation, we don't know this, we don't know that. No one knows anything. But
I think they're entitled from Liverpool, mate. I really do.
And Liverpool aren't denying it either. So
it's a game of chicken because the minute Newcastle go, all right, we take 120, and then Liverpool would have offered 150. And the minute Liverpool offered 150 and Newcastle would have taken 120, it's going to be a game of who blinks first. If anyone does, the thing is, you do also have to take into account that maybe Newcastle just genuinely don't want to sell him, in which you are talking probably around the 150, 160 to get them talking. I'll say to you, Rick, do Liverpool have to be a bit careful here, though? Because as we have seen in previous years, when you set a precedent as a big spending club, and Liverpool are not that in years gone by, but if we enter a summer in which Liverpool obviously do 100 million for Wirtz, if Liverpool do go near that 150 million mark for Isak, do Liverpool have to protect their future transfer dealings by making sure that they aren't seen to be someone that will go to these astronomical figures? Do you think they do need to be careful?
No, I mean, the success we've had in recent years, when they're going to knocking on people's doors, the big club that we are financially, we've got record revenue money coming in, competition money, TV money's up 17% this season starting. So we have cash. And teams know we've got cash because we didn't spend last summer. We barely spent the summer before that. January, we don't really do much anyway. PSR ain't going to touch. Like, is it Dave Powell that come out and said that we can spend 200 million and not worry about PSR? Liverpool have always said they're willing to spend big on the right player. Wirtz is the right player. Isak is the best striker in the Prem, in my opinion, in terms of all-round ability. Kerkez is the best left back in the Prem. So we're going for top targets. We're not just going around for anyone. So we're spending. I think we're spending wisely. Listen, you could spend 150 on Isaac Julian, and people might like bat their eyelids a bit here, but it's the right player. If Liverpool only need a striker, so you can spend big. So now you've got this summer that we're having now. You ain't got to spend big for 4-5 years with the ages that we've got in this squad. So every summer you can now go cherry pick that one player that you want in a position that you need and spend big again. We're just smart business. We haven't done what Chelsea have done. We're not done what Arsenal have done, Man United have done, these teams where they just spend big on every single player, wages wise. We're very acute with it. And now we can do it for the targets we want.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, I mean, look, like I said, the Isaac one, he's obviously the number one target, isn't he? But the big question is, a lot of people seem to have different opinions on whether Liverpool will wait for him or not. His age is obviously probably at that age now at the tipping point where another year he's probably going to be you're going to look at him as maybe being a bit tall. If it's not Isaac, who?
But this is the $1 million question, isn't it? Because I just don't think they're fully convinced on Ekitike. Because obviously I think he is the plan B. But the problem is the plan B costs a hell of a lot of money. And let's be honest, if they really wanted him, he could be wearing the Liverpool shirt now. No mistake about it. He'd be at Liverpool. So it's a tough question. The problem is if they wait, what is the guarantee? So that guarantee may be tell Isak to do a new contract, but there needs to be a breakout clause. Because otherwise, Liverpool can't just sit there waiting, can they? Because then it's going to be the same shit all the time. And I just think, what is he next year? 27, 28?
26 and it'll be going to 27.
Yeah, Liverpool, the interest will start dying down and they'll probably be thinking, we're going to have to go for a younger option. So it's tough. I think the waiting game, I don't think Liverpool will do. It'd have to be something drastic for them to wait or in their favour. And I just think now they're looking at it thinking, if we wait, we probably start, the opposition behind us may start catching up if they start, strengthening, big. So I'm unsure, lads. It's a tough one. But I do think Liverpool will try this summer.
Yeah. Adam, I'll throw this at you. I mean, the same names in, I think the top clubs are all fishing in the same pool. Amarali said there, Osimhen, obviously we've heard Kerkez, Sesko, Ekitike. If it's not Isaac, who are Liverpool going for?
Well, it seems like it's Ekitike, doesn't it? He's quite similar, to be fair, isn't he, to Isak, when I've seen him. But it's like what we just been saying about Isak there. Now is the time to strike, because all them strikers, they're going to most probably leave this summer to someone. So we go after next year, next season. So I'd also say Ekitike is the favourite. But I wouldn't spend €100 million on him now either. I think it's a massive gamble. Then we've already with Nunes, everyone's sort of got that in the back of their head, haven't they, of spending so big on like a Ekitike or even a Kerkez. So it's a lot of question marks on the other strikers. So I don't really know, Matt, if I'm really honest with you. It's a tough one. I reckon we've got to strike now with Isak, or I don't know. Let's see what happens type thing. But I'd must say Ekitike, but I'm not confident.
Because I don't think he wants to wait around either. I honestly don't think that. Because there's no good that people keep saying, like, they've got the Champions League and all this stuff. But ultimately, we can nearly win all these big comps. Newcastle are just taking part. And that's a big thing for a player there.
Yeah, well, Liverpool just won the Premier League, haven't they, as well? So Liverpool's stock is as high as it's been for a long, long time. Probably since we first won the Champions League and we had that ridiculous team with Jurgen. I think we're in that position again where we could probably attract pretty much any player on the planet if they're not playing for a rival. Rick, I want to ask you just in general about the 9 market, though, because as we know, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs have just signed that tell. But those clubs there are all looking for a number 9. It's not anywhere near late in the window, but not one club has made a significant move. Arsenal loosely linked with going with Sesko. Kerkez being, passed around like a joint at the moment between clubs. but nobody's made the move. What is the hold up with that 9 market? Why has nobody signed one or at least entered any significant agreement with a number 9 yet?
The prices that these players are being valued at. I mean, I looked at a list earlier. I think there's probably 6 okay strikers out there if you go about. You've got Retegui at Atlanta, who's 36 games last season at 25 league goals. Oshman played 30 games, 26 goals. Sesko only at 13 goals. He's the worst one out of the lot. Ekitike only at 15 league goals. So, I mean, these strikers are not what the caliber they used to be in the market. But it's the same. I think they're going through the same transition as the winger market. That was shit. Now it's the strikers' turn. The DM market was poor recently. I mean, it's just the level of football play, I think, in every position is just dropped massively. Because it ain't all about... It's more athletic now these days than what it used to be in terms of skill and ability. So I think Liverpool got to be very... That's why I think Liverpool, if it's not Isak, it's no one. What's the point? You might as well play Diaz through the middle, let him run his 2-year deal, what he's got left, and then assess the market again then. We'll still have the money. So if someone comes up all of a sudden turns into the next R9, we'll be there. But yeah, the market, bar Isak, I mean, Isak's the top one, then you got to go all the way down to find these other bods. Ekitike might turn out to be something, but while you're in this position of power in Liverpool that they're in, you've got to go for the ready-made product now. No more projects. Because you might as well keep Darwin Núñez. If you're looking at an Ekitike or someone like that who hit 13 league goals last season, I'm sure Darwin Núñez barely played, but near enough hit that.
No, I get your point, to be fair. I get your point with that, because you are replacing Núñez with just another one who's going to score 11, 12 goals. Really. What is the point? I do understand that, to be fair.
While I normally agree with Liverpool's stance on waiting, because I don't agree with spending money for the sake of it, I'm not understanding the thought process behind it unless it is Alexander Isak. If it's because you're waiting a year because you're going to do the Isak deal, that's different. As Ben said, I don't know how they can guarantee that, because he's still going to have 2 years left on his contract. We don't know how he's going to perform the next 12 months, how his injury record is going to be. So then you're putting yourself in a position where, Liverpool's data model, it requires a certain amount of data to be able to run it. Now, you could then go, okay, well, Sesko, Ekitike would have another season, but the chances are they're going to move this year. So they're now off the table by next summer. Osimhen and Kerkez will be going into 28. They're not going to be on the market of the interest to Liverpool anyway.
And the cycle starts again, looking for the striker, doesn't it?
Well, then you're looking
no one out there. We just go back for Alvarez.
We got even less then, because these project players that do have a little bit of scope about them, i.e. Sesko, Ekitike, are gone. So then you're looking at more strikers that have 12 months worth of data, unless you literally get, Mbappe version 2 that is just so far ahead and shoulders above everyone when they break through. For me, I'm not seeing it. But at the end of the day, if there isn't anyone, Liverpool won't move. But then, Ben, that brings me on to my next question about maybe being a bit smarter about what they do. So rather than just sitting on it, per se, Liverpool do something different. So, we're looking at the Diaz news today. So do we look at that and go, okay, do Liverpool maybe sign more of a versatile forward is one of the terms being used? I know a name, I'll let you share it, that you heard the other day that could fit that bill. But someone that's not a 9, but operates across the front line, we can kind of do a little bit of the old interchanging. Is that something that you could see Liverpool maybe opting for if they can't get that 9 they're happy with?
I could see it, but it depends on the price. Pardon me. It'd have to be a really good deal. The name that I came across the other day was Kudos. So to a manager, he's a dream, because you can play in multiple positions. But what's the sort of figure that we're talking about? Because wasn't he like 60, 70 million a year ago? So it's a very tough question. I just think if they wait, they're very limited then. And Obviously, I see the names in the chat. Julian Alvarez. I think he's up there as well with Isak. If they could get him now, 100% they'd be right in the market for him. Yeah. Doesn't look like that's the case. Atletico just make it so difficult. But he'd be a serious signing as well, wouldn't he? He'd fit into it,
Him or Isak?
Oh,
Isak. I think the way we're going, we just need someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. So probably Isak, but Julian Alvarez isn't far behind, is he? Let's be honest. They are obviously the top two. But I just think the gap from them two, for instance, Isak and Julian Alvarez, to the ones below is massive. Absolutely massive. So it's difficult to say. But the multifunctional, type of forward, I just don't know. I really don't know. It's a hard one to call. I think Liverpool, they're in a difficult position, and I think that's why they're doing so much business early on, so they can just monitor everything. But look, they've just got to go for Isak, test the fucking water, see what happens, and then take it from there. But I just don't think Newcastle can start turning away big money.
No, I do agree. Obviously, Ekatike seems to be the name that everybody's talking about. I'm not, from a personal perspective, I'm not, massively overwhelmed by it. I think it's another risk that Liverpool probably don't need to take. I think you would.
Question for you, though, Matt. Let's say we sign Ekatike. Who starts then? First game of the season, Jota or him?
I think he probably goes Jota, and that's why I'm not massively overwhelmed on it. If you sign Isak, do you know what? Even if you signed Osimhen, he starts the first game of the season. Osimhen does. Same with Kerkez. Ekatike doesn't really solve the issue for me. In a 12 to 18 months' time, it could be great. We don't need that. Liverpool don't need that. We're talking about performing and competing on the elite stage. That's why I think Sesko at Arsenal's not going to be a good move, because I think they need, again, also an Isak, and they're going to put a kid there. You look at the signings they've made: Wirtz, Kerkez, Frimpong, maybe not. Frimpong, I could see maybe being on the bench, but certainly Wirtz and Kerkez will start, and that's what Liverpool need in the number 9. So it just, it just doesn't do it for me. I mean, here again, the Alvarez stuff, that's what you get dealing with. And by all accounts, he's not massively unhappy at Atletico Madrid. If you listen to what a few people have said, the lifestyle in the UK, I mean, the South Americans don't always take to it great. He hated the weather by all accounts. So I don't think I think Isak's more of a goer than Alvarez. Ping over to you, Adam, a similar question to Ben. I mean, look, the list is the same list that we're going to discuss probably every pod when we talk about number 9s, but being creative and looking at maybe changing that front line around, could you see Liverpool maybe going more down the winger route, moving someone in the middle, using Jota still next season? And if you can, who would you like to see join that Liverpool front three?
I would have said Gordon, to be honest. But it's if they'll sell Gordon as well to us, who knows? But yeah, I think it's looking at a multifunctional striker, that we'll call it. It's just keep Diaz then. Just keep Diaz, and then as well as the fact of maybe that's what they're thinking as well. If we don't get Isak, we play Diaz up front, and Wirtz might play sometimes on the left. Szoboszlai might play on the left. We only actually used 5 forwards last season, so we could go into the season with just 5 forwards. At the top of my head, I'm not saying say Gordon. At the top of my head, I think he suits our style as well. But yeah, I'll say Gordon, mate. Yeah.
Rick, I want to ask you a question. I know you're probably going to start talking about Isak again, but when you look at the business that Liverpool have done, is there, and I'm not saying we don't need one, but is there almost an overstate on how much Liverpool need one? When you look at the likes of how much Arsenal need one, you look at how much Man United need one, even Chelsea need one. Was that Liverpool's issue, and is it Liverpool's issue, or do you think they can get away with being a bit more clever, or, as Adam said, staying with what they've got for another year?
Yeah, no, I mean, no other team's got a Mo Salah on the right-hand side. You've also got Diaz and Gakpo, who hit double digits last season that no other team's got. If Jota could stay fit, it's not made of cheese string. I mean, you could probably get away with him and Núñez fighting it out, him and Diaz fighting it out for the 9 position for a year next year, because we won the league without a striker. If you're being honest about it, because Diaz is not a striker, Gakpo is not a striker. They're both wingers. Salah's a winger. Salah ain't even got a backup from last season. So again, if we're smart about it, you could potentially pick a winger. That Fofana at Lyon. I mean, if the reports are true that he's got a relegation clause of €30 million, why not see what he's about as a winger option? Gordon, listen, Gordon's you boys, right? Is Gordon only wanted because he's a Scass lad? It's got to be that, because I like Gordon. I think he's good. He's a good player. But the way he's spoken about, you'd think he's the best thing since sliced bread at left wing. I think there's better out there than him. Is it just because he's a local lad that he spoke about more than anyone as a left wing position?
I do think there's an element of that situation being a new toy for the sake of being a new toy. Now, there's an argument that he's obviously younger, so he may not be that. But, Diaz is 28. I don't think that would be one that would make an immediate impact to Liverpool.
For the price, they'd want 80 mil for him.
I'm not one to personally. I mean, if Diaz does, listen, there is a situation around Diaz, so obviously we have to have the conversation about him and his replacements. And I think if Luis Diaz does agitate for a move, he's a good replacement, Gordon. I do agree. But I wouldn't be actively going out of my way to move Luis Diaz on to bring Gordon in. He would just be my backup if Diaz wanted to go. Ben, I mean, I'll throw that at you. I mean, Gordon's a name that's popped up. He nearly moved to Liverpool last summer. Is he Liverpool quality, and is he an upgrade on Luis Diaz?
He's definitely a quality player. I think the problem with fucking moving Diaz on and bringing Gordon in, the wages will be a massive thing, won't they? Because Gordon will be expecting big money. He obviously got that new deal, and I think he's on about 180 grand a week. So I think if you're asking Liverpool that, they're probably like, I'd rather just sit on the Diaz thing. But he is a top player. I think obviously last summer, he was so close to moving to Liverpool. And I think that's impacted his season. You know what I mean? Because obviously he wanted that move. But you know what, though? I don't think Liverpool would go as high, because I think if they went for Gordon, they're defo not getting Isak. So I think it'd be more along the lines of that Fofana, for instance, because at least they could throw him in. He's not going to be expected to start every week. And that wouldn't be like a bad plan B/C type of thing. Look, it's a really difficult thing, isn't it? Because you know what Liverpool are like. If the right player's there, they'll wait. But I think they've gone past that. So I think it's either plan A or not at the minute. But if they can swap, get Chiesa out and bring that Fofana in, I could see that definitely happen. I really could.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Adam, I want to throw two ends of the spectrum at you, and it's kind of off of what Majok said here. So obviously he's put there that he would trust Jadon Danns as a backup to Jota and Diaz. Listen, Liverpool may take the option to let the market breathe for a season or maybe two. We don't know.
Yeah.
Jadon Danns, and I want to throw another one at the other end of the spectrum on the older age, Ollie Watkins. Would you look at either of those two as being a make weight or just a makeshift situation to let that striker market breathe, or do you just think, no, not for me?
Not for me, mate. Not for me. I don't think Dan's is just ready, is he yet? That'd be a massive gamble, I think, to be honest with you. That Watkins, I've heard a few shouts about this, and I'm just not into it. To be honest. How old is he? Is he 29, 30 now? And he wasn't even getting a game for Villa at the end of last season. I think, again, what Ben just said, I think we're past that. But, and also as well, is Slot going to give these youngsters a go? I actually don't think he is. Because there's the other lad, isn't he, that young Rio? Is he going to get a bit of a few Carabao games or something? But I just don't think Slot's really up for it, doing the youngsters, to be honest. He just wants to win. So I'd not say no, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Rio's got the best chance out of the youngsters of getting. He was obviously part of the reason we saw him, signed him. But yeah, Jadon Danns, I mean, he played the Champions League game, didn't he? PSV away. And it looked a bit soon for him. does look a little bit too soon for him. And this is another name that I've seen pop up is John Duran from Saudi. I always think personally you have to question it a little bit. I mean, he's obviously gone out there, chased the dough, and realised it's shit and wants to come back. Rick, John Duran?
No, he's got a few bangers, didn't he? A couple against us, but yeah, I don't think he's what everyone thought he was going to be. I mean, obviously he's gone for the money. He's got to stay there for 3 years or he don't get this money. So what's the point of wasting 2 years of your career to go for the money and not even get it because you've bottled it and come back early?
Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson bottled it as well. But yeah, I'm not too sure on that, Joanne. I don't think he's what he thinks he is, and I don't think he's what other fans think he is. Like, listen, Villa were laughing when the Saudis bid 90 million for him. They thought, we're going to have to sell Watkins for 50, 60 mil to Arsenal. And then all of a sudden, that 90 mil bid come in. That was it, mate. Rubbed your hands a bit, got rid of him. But, I'd leave him there. I wouldn't go near him. There's a reason why teams like West Ham were chasing him for a couple of seasons, and I know big teams went in for him.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, look, this number 9 chat is something that we could. It's the same names going around, the same clubs, the same situations. I mean, I think it's something that at this point in time we're going to have to let the market move before we really know what's going to happen. I think, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of clubs, a lot of players, a lot of agents drumming up interest. I'm going to wrap it up, lads. I mean, I think we've done nearly an hour, but I want to fire one question to each of you. Ben, I'm going to come to you first because I've left you out a little bit on this pod. I want you to make a prediction for what you think Liverpool will do in that attacking area, and it can be just a number 9 sign-in or it can be a creative sign-in. But I want you to a realistic one. What do you think Liverpool are going to do?
I think they're going to go big for Isak, and I think they're going to get it.
Big prediction. Yeah, Mark, someone finally noticed. Got literally the white and red hat and everything. No one even said anything. Wasted time. Adam, fire it at you, mate. Realistic prediction. What are Liverpool going to do in that attacking area, or if anything?
I echo what Ben's just said. I think it's going to happen. There's no smoke without fire, they say. I think it's going to happen, to be honest. So, Isak.
Isak. Rick, is there any fucking point of asking?
No. It's Isak. That's it, mate. It's going to happen as well. Newcastle just know their place in the pecking order, and the deal will get done.
Saudi are going to be onto you, Rick. Honestly, they're going to be having you soon. What's the biggest? Rick and Isak or Kerkez moving to Liverpool to decide what the biggest noise is. But look, again, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. We've got lots of pods planned, so we're trying not to get everything crammed in. There's so much to talk about with Liverpool at the moment, and I think each and every one deserves its own time to discuss. And appreciate we've obviously gone a little bit later tonight. But Adam, well done, mate. Great debut. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate that, lads. Enjoyed that. Good.
Awesome. Rick, Ben, as usual, you all right? Bit shit, but thank you for the time anyway. But listen, as always, please like, sub, share, comment, all of the above. Again, it wasn't great numbers again tonight. Lots of comments, and as always, we'll try and be as interactive as possible. We do have, so Ben, I think it'd be fair to say we do have potentially the first guest coming onto the channel next week, or potentially the week after, but we'll know next week. Are we good to share?
Yeah, next week, Lewis Steele will be coming on. I think it'll be good. So if you've got any questions, fire them into the chat and we'll put them to him.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll pop tweets up so you can see it as well, so you can get your comments in on there, and we'll try and get through as many as possible. Guys, thank you ever so much. I will let you get on with your evening's chat. Again, thank you for all of your questions. And until next time, up the Reds.